welcome back into episode 129. So last week you saw me take a bit of a week off and just go for a drive. Something a bit different. I hope you enjoyed it. Some did, some didn't. Doesn't matter. It's an easy week for me and I don't have to think too hard. This week is something big I've been preparing for. So I think a few of you noticed over the last few weeks that there is an empty gap in my garage here. Now I've had a 911 Turbo sat there for I think about 4.5 years. Fantastic car, incredible to drive. But I found I just wasn't driving it. It sat there. I think in my ownership in 4.5 years, I think I did 3,000 miles, which I know is quite typical, but it's not a good use of that that money, if you like. You know, just sat there getting older, and with fuel running out or whatever's going to happen with petrol, all of the restrictions coming in with the government, I figured it's time to do something with it. I also had a problem. The 928 that I've been doing up, as you've been watching very patiently, that needs respraying. And to respray that is going to cost, I think, somewhere between £6,000 and £10,000. Then I've got to retrim the interior, a couple of thousand there probably. So I could be looking at maybe another £12,000 investment on top of the 13 that I've already put into the car. I don't have £12,000 laying around the garage. Well, I did. Well, I did. It was in the shape of a 911. Obviously, the 911 was worth more than that, but that was one of the difficult decisions to make. You know, I'm not using the car. I could use the cash somewhere else. So I decided to sell the 911, and that went a few weeks back. I think. Actually, I can't remember. It is a complicated story because it's actually being shipped out to Australia. So I sold it probably 4 months ago, and it's taken a bit of time for the guy who bought it, a fantastic chap called Russell, to sort everything out and finally take collection of it about maybe 5-6 weeks ago. It's a little while ago. Most of August I've been away on holiday, so it probably is maybe even 7 weeks ago. Another story, another time. So I made that decision to sell the 911 so we can spray the 928. And I get a bit garage back. I mean, it's amazing having this space again. You see how cramped I am in here. Everything's on top of it. And as I collect more and more parts for the car, I'm getting less and less space. And my wife is starting to moan a little bit because I've got, not just boxes in here, but boxes all throughout the house of door cards and, seats. I've got a patch of seats out in my utility room and all these bits and bobs all over the house. So selling the car meant I could pull stuff back in, and you can see some boxes in here now as I'm slowly bringing everything back out of the house and back into the garage. But as we know, nothing ever goes according to plan, and I had this nice empty garage for, it wasn't very long actually. It was maybe 3 or 4 weeks of me actually being in the house, not away on holiday, and it was really nice. I could start to spread out, and I built a little workbench. I think I fixed something that you watched, I can't remember, something to do with the dash, I can't remember actually. And it was really nice having that space. But then something happened. I sit on a 928 news group, and one of the chaps on there said he's selling a GT. A GT, just to refresh you, is a 5 litre, only manual, much later car, so it's basically an S4 but with a few bit of moderations to the engine and the manual gearbox. And it was dirt cheap and I couldn't say no, so I went and bought it. Much to my wife's disappointment, in fact much to her anger, I think would probably be better saying. And I picked it up a couple of days ago. So my plan on that is, I couldn't let a GT die. It's been left out in the rain for many years. I think it's spent 15 years ungaraged, and the paintwork's really suffered. The car mechanically seems really good. I've been driving it the last few days. It performs really nicely, starts on the button, everything's perfect, but it looks horrendous. That's something I can help with. When you start putting 2 and 2 together, that I've got a car here, my white 928, that mechanically is now, let's use the word perfect, but looks horrendous. So I've got 2 cars that are mechanically good, but look horrendous. There must be something I can do. And I started clicking their wheels together, thinking, well, I'm going to use the money that I had reserved to spray the white 928. I probably said 911 back there, you know what I mean. So the money I was going to use to spray the white 928, I could use to buy the black GT, which is what I did. How do I solve the spray problem? This is the big problem now. So I've gone backs and forwards thinking, do I build a spray booth in here? Would that be fun? Would it be something entertaining to watch? I think it might be, and I'm not ruling that out yet. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to see how the finances work out. There's still about £4,000 left in the kitty that I can use to do something, spray or whatever. I'm going to start stripping down the 928, the white original 928, get that down ready for spray. In parallel, I'm going to do a little bit of maintenance on the GT. It needs cam belt, water pump, a few bits and bobs like that. I'll do an oil change to keep it sweet. A few things there. It's got a few other issues that we need to look at. And just tick along. Let's walk our way towards Christmas and see where we end up. It might be that I can strike a deal with a sprayer, a spray shop, to do both cars. It might be that I decide to build a spray booth inside this garage. Who knows? Or I may just spray the white one for the moment, get that looking really good. Keep or sell, I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Some money might come rolling along and I get enough to do the black one as well. We'll see. But that's where we're going at the moment. So let's move outside and I'll show you the black GT and you can see what you think. See, it's looking pretty good inside. There's obviously a stereo missing, just pulling the bad parts for you. There's a little crack there on the dash. I think all of this looks good. We could do with a little bit of a tidy up. All the door trim looks good. There's a little cap missing there, no big deal. The gear selector's got a little bit chewed up in its life. This is probably not original. All fine. Scuff here somewhere there. Seats, they're the sport seats, which are amazing, super comfortable, surprisingly comfortable. Everything looks really good there. Same in the back. I mean, there's no one sits back there, so the seats are really good. The middle box has got the fabric sort of just started to pull off. The sunroof, I don't think the camera will let you see, but the if I hold up, you might be able to just get a glance. This has sort of started to drop down. Not a major problem. I think 928s are us to a clip that fixes that. Sunroof sticks, it works, but you have to sort of help it closed. That's about it back here. Everything present and correct. The rear hatch doesn't open on the button. Well, I just noticed a little split in the leather just there somewhere, I think you can see. This side's pretty good as well. And I can't really show you because I'm sitting in the seat, but side bolsters just started to go. But as you know, I'm an expert leather sprayer now, so I'm not worried about that in the slightest. These seats though, you can see how wide they are. They're amazingly comfortable. Really are good. Really pleased with those. So that's the interior. So if I flick the key, we're sitting at 109,000 miles, so not crazy mileage on these big engines. Starts beautifully if I just turn it on. Comes up really nice, all dials working. Sounds nice and smooth, no issues there. Managed to score a nice 15.1 miles per gallon. Actually, when I picked it up, I drove back about 50 miles and managed to get 21 miles per gallon, and we were driving pretty quick. Outside then, just hop out. Ticks over really nice. No problems there. Like little things like this. It's had some things tapped on the back here, so I'm probably after a new rear bumper. I mean, the paint is horrific. It should be in satin black. I think it's a special option colour. But it's faded, it's all gone wrong. So the bodywork is pretty bad. The door's not bad actually. The bonnet is the worst. I think it's some kind of algae or something growing on it. Certainly something to look at. I was actually trying last night to strip it off, and it's kind of coming off, but obviously it's damaging the paint underneath fairly badly. Got the 90 wheels, and I think they're called. The front's had something. I think someone's reversed into it or something here, and it's dented this bumper. It's sort of misformed it. If you look, you can probably see there's something a bit odd at the front. The bonnet. The hinge had broken, and I think where it's to lift it up you had to give it a good yank. I think it's actually bent the bonnet out of shape a little bit, which is why it's a bit dubious. This is all something odd here. I think, as I say, I think it's just been hit. Someone either reversed it or hit it, and that's caused the paint back here just to buckle as it's all sort of crunched in like that. I think it's the same on the other side. A bit more of the fantastic paint, really nice. Door faded, nothing too exciting there. A bit of rust here. Now this will be something to have a good look at. This side's the worst. I think it's had a little knock at the back and repair. And in part of the repair they've probably ground off the galvanisation. Or it's just gone because they do go there. Who knows? This is all the lacquer sort of starting to flake away. So that we need you know, I mean, there's no doubt the car needs a respray, so it is what it is. Surprisingly quiet as well, compared with my 79, which is a roaring animal. This is really subdued, really surprisingly quiet. With the bonnet up, hopefully you can still hear. I reattached the strut here, it come off, it snapped, it's mounting, so I've just put some self-tappers in there for the minute. Engine's pretty dirty, a bit tappety this time. It wasn't, didn't notice that last time. It just had a bit of a blast, so it should be okay. But yeah, dirty, needs, you know, so much bits and bobs fixing on it, but all present and correct and running quite happily. It's quite hard to show a side-by-side video because one, I've got no space in here now, and two, I've got all these boxes storing everything everywhere. The amount of spares that came with the GT as well, there was everything you can imagine. Cowls, this sort of radiator cowl, a couple of those, rear bumper bars, everything you can imagine. I got a spare dash up there as well that I bought a little while back. That got damaged in the post, unfortunately, so I need to work out what to do with that. If anyone needs a dash for a
for a later car, I don't know what year that'll go from. It's not leather, it's plastic. It's got a little bump on one of the corners, sort of down here, where it was damaging the post. If anyone needs one, let me know.
Right, that's where I'm going to leave it this week. Exciting update, I think, for me it is anyway. I don't know about for you guys. Well, if you like 9 to 8s, then it is exciting because it means not only you got one, but you got two, you've got more content coming up. I probably won't release any more videos more frequently because I still work and this is all in my sort of spare time. But there is now guaranteed more 9 to 8 content, which is cool. I love this car, it's fantastic to drive. It's like a real monster. But I am completely committed to getting this car finished. At the moment, things change all the time, but I would really like to get that car finished, get it done. I got some fantastic ideas what we're going to do with that. I think it looked amazing. Really keen to get that finished off. Anyway, thank you for watching as ever. Keep liking, subscribing, commenting. Do leave me comments, I like it. And definitely click the like button. Click it now, in fact, just so I know that you've clicked it. You don't have to try and remember. Wake up in the middle of the night, I forgot to click the like button. Click it now, you don't have to worry. Anyway, I'll see you next week.